Hey everyone, James Reeves. As many of you know, travel quite a bit for TFBTV and Jimports. I don't mind getting on a plane traveling. If I like something, it means I want you to like it too, and you'll like it a lot more if you're good at it. So that's the point of today's video, help you with some pro tips on traveling and mainly talking about gear, which is fun for me. The most important piece of gear that you're gonna have for traveling is gonna be the thing that you're going to use the most, which coincidentally tends to be the hardest thing to replace if you're looking for a suitable equivalent in your destination. That's the backpack. If you have a squared away backpack, you can do almost anything, even if your luggage gets lost. You're gonna use it while you're traveling. You're gonna use it during your trip. You're gonna use it after your trip, which is why it's so critical. It's something you're gonna use all the time, not just when you're traveling. We're gonna talk about the backpack first. I'm gonna talk about some very specific, very important contents, little items last. I got like some pro tips, serious pro tips for you. I've got three go-to backpacks that I use right behind me. Before we get too far into this, I am a 511 brand ambassador, so feel free to weigh that against what I say in this video. Love 511, I've worked with them for years. Over the years, I like the Goruck GR1, the Mystery Ranch Catalyst 26, and now the new Allhaula 30. Each has their pros and cons. One thing I will mention that could totally change your decision is whether or not you bring a laptop, or worse, like me, a laptop and a tablet. Your math is gonna change because if you're like a no laptop person, you're probably not gonna wanna have like a dedicated laptop compartment that takes up space if you're never gonna use it and there's not much you put in there, like maybe a couple like Playboy magazines or something to read on the plane, you and your neighbor together. You know, it's kind of a specialized compartment. Now let's talk about the bag I've been using the longest. That is the GR1. I think the Goruck is one of the best looking bags in terms of overall form factor. It's certainly the most durable, has the simplest, most straightforward layout. It's just a clamshell design with one huge compartment, has a little elastic flap in the main compartment, which I use for a tablet. It's flat enough where if you're not using it, it's not a waste of space in there. It's definitely the most durable bag in that it's 1000D Cordura. These things are absolutely bomb-proof. I did one of those 12-hour GORUCK challenges with one like 10 years ago, which was awesome, although I gotta say the GORUCK challenge experience, little cringe, especially like a bunch of middle-aged dudes playing army and screaming, yes sir, cadre sir. But it is a good demonstration, great marketing. Good demonstration of how tough these bags are because you actually run them through the ringer. I'd go so far to suggest that they're overbuilt, like buying a Humvee when realistically most of us are never going to get in over our heads with like a 2005 Land Cruiser. The bag itself, pretty rigid as a result, kind of heavy. It's also the most expensive bag on this list, costing about twice as much as the Mystery Ranch Catalyst or the 511. Like I said, good looking bag, but it also has a distinct look. That means other guys, GORUCK guys, are gonna come up to you and ask you how many challenges you've done, bro, and who your favorite cadre is, bro, which will make your wife want to shrivel up and die like a prune mummy woman right next to you. The laptop compartment, padded and reinforced, it's really nice. And this is a comfortable bag to carry. GORUCK does sell a separate hip belt and sternum strap that clip onto the webbing, but it's very much like an afterthought. You're bolting this on. It's an add-on kit. It works, but it's not as comfortable or purpose-built like a real hiking hip belt or sternum strap. True story. I was boarding a fishing boat from the rails in the surf at Lovers Beach in Cabo, maybe 5-6 years ago. I had my camera in my backpack, a bunch of other valuable stuff, electronics. I go to push myself over the edge of the boat, like to get in the boat from the side. Huge wave comes in, rips the rail out of my hands, boat goes up. I go underwater for a second or two. Like these waves are massive out there. The backpack goes with me. Even though this isn't marketed as a weatherproof bag, the Cordura is so thick and dense that only a little bit of water got in, probably I would guess through like the zipper. So what happened to the contents? The manual focus on my lens was actually screwed up for the rest of the trip, but everything else was just fine. The camera was fine. It was surprisingly dry in there. I really love this bag, but three things about it. Number one, it's a bit bulky. It's the heaviest bag, even though it's just 26-liter capacity. Twice as expensive. Number two, twice as expensive as everything else, and I don't think it's really that much better than these other bags, unless for some reason you're gonna be filling your backpack with like a bag of instant concrete or some shit. Number three, between my laptop, the stuff I like to travel with, camera body, maybe two, a lens, maybe two, 26 liters, just not enough. Look at all this stuff that I have that I put into my bag. With 26 liters, you're kind of pushing it, but that's also what you have in the Mystery Ranch. dollar for dollar makes a lot of sense compared to the GORUCK. It's about 179 bucks while it's Cordura. It's 500D Cordura, roughly half the denier rating of the GR1, which is 1000D. Therefore, this is significantly lighter, but 500D makes a lot of sense for a backpack that's not going to a war zone. You save money, you save weight. It's about a ½ pound lighter than the GR1, even though they've got the same capacity and the same general size. It's a great laptop pack. It even has 2 flaps in the laptop compartment, so you can put your laptop and your tablet in the same section. Price is right. I think they've got some very tasteful colorways. Definitely a good looking bag. Also, I'd rather buy this bag and spend the rest on travel gear instead of dropping 350 bucks on a Goruck GR1. If you only need 22 liters, you don't need like a dedicated zippable laptop compartment. I also own 2 of the smaller version of this, Catalyst 22. They're phenomenal bags, and they're even cheaper at 149 bucks. My main issue is, again, size 26 liter, same basic problem for me as a GR1. Laptop, camera gear, lenses, I'm running out of room. The outside water bottle pockets here, by the way, they're useless. You ain't getting shit in there. If you're a major organization freak, by the way, good pack for you. Lots of flaps and zippers and elastic on the interior. I prefer something a bit simpler. I'm not gonna be using all that stuff. If anything, I'll probably lose something in there. Unusual thing about the Mystery Ranch bags, this tri-zip setup here, right? I know Mystery Ranch guys, they swear by it. But for me, it's more zipper than I need. With a clamshell, you just unzip it, it opens like a suitcase. With the tri-zip, you're kind of like peeling it open along 3 different tracks, and if the bag's loaded up, it's like a little fiddly. It works, it's just not my style. There's nothing wrong with it, I just don't like it. I just like the simple clamshell bag, like the GORUCK. There's so much zipper on this thing, it's like, I don't know, trying to get Trinity's top off in the Matrix. So these are 2 bags that I swear by, but if you told me that I had to pick one bag to live out of for like the rest of my life, the new Allhaula 30-liter bag from 511. Now, before we get to the last bag, which is my new travel bag, I know you guys out there understandably are saying like, oh man, James, he's 511 ambassador, he's shocker, he's gonna say that like this is his favorite bag. Let me put it to you this way. You saw the wear and tear that I've got on these bags. I own 3 of those Mystery Ranch packs. I like 511's bags. I like their backpacks, but for me, like as legendary as say the Rush 24 is, it's like too much Molly. I don't like the setup, so I never carried it. These are the bags that I was carrying until the Allhaula 30 came out. Now, the first generation Allhaula duffel, which I can see like 6 of them in my closet, will be my most favorite duffel bag of all time. Highly recommend it. I'm talking about the first gen. Now, the second gen's great, but the first gen's just one big bag. There's no compartments, nothing, and I freaking love it. I swear by them. They've probably been around the world, no exaggeration with me, 3-4 times. I mean, I genuinely love those bags. So what I like about 511, whenever they kind of get their claws into something that works, then they spin the shit out of it, and they make more versions, different versions, and finally they got around to taking the Allhaula, converting it to a 30-liter backpack, and I absolutely love this thing. Let me explain to you as objectively as possible why I think this is the best bag out of these 3 right now. Number 1, highest capacity, 30 liters. Number 2, notwithstanding that, lowest weight. It's 2.1 pounds, and it holds 30 liters versus about, I think, 2.6 pounds for the Catalyst and 3.1 pounds for the GORUCK. It's a full pound lighter than the GORUCK while holding 4 more liters of stuff. As of yet, I haven't completely jammed this thing up. While the 26-liter bag, I run out of space if I've got the laptop, the iPad, more than 1 camera body, more than 1 lens, whenever you factor in all the other stuff that I put in there. 30 is kind of like, 28 would probably be the sweet spot for me, 28 liters. This is the cheapest bag. It's around $160 full price. 511 has a sale every minor holiday, like Canadian Boxing Day, 20% off bags. TPU coated 840D nylon, but the material still feels lighter weight than the 500D and the Mystery Ranch. The TPU coating, it's almost like material from like a Hypalon Zodiac boat. It's water resistant, and not that it really matters, but the colors from 511 have cooler names. Like the same color, it's Kangaroo, this FDE for 511, but Mystery Ranch calls it Hummus. I still think it feels like it's the least durable of these 3 bags, but my experience hasn't borne that out. I got mine in July. I've used it nonstop since. It's been to Poland, to Torn AK factory, the FBI's office in Seattle and Huntsville. It's been to Prague. It's been to the FN factory, boating trips in Cape Cod, Pensacola, Florida, hiking 20 miles a day in Cuyahoga, whatever in Ohio, which actually was really cool. If you have the opportunity to go check that out, I was really surprised by it. I used this pack whenever I went to Arizona to pick up a car that I bought there, and I also filmed with Ian McCollum of Forgotten Weapons. I turned right back around the next week, went to Las Vegas for SEMA, and this week, tomorrow, it's going to South America and the Galapagos. So far, so good. This is also the only bag in the lineup that's got a dedicated hip belt interface. So if you want to use it with heavier stuff or like a longer distance hike, you can actually just clip in the belt from the Skyweight series of 511 bags, and it feels like a real hiking belt that actually takes the weight off your shoulders. It also has a sternum clip out of the box, like the Mystery Ranch does too. The sternum strap, paid add-on from GORUCK. Same with their hip belt, but that feels more like a Molly afterthought compared to this, which was specifically integrated. I guess the gist is it's larger, it's lighter, it's cheaper. You could realistically like bring just this backpack and pack, I don't know, 3-4 days worth of clothes and still have room for gear while being like significantly cheaper than the other bags. Main compartment, here we go. So what I do like about this is it's almost a full clamshell, kind of like you would see on like a Goruck GR1 or something. You know, like a full, it opens pretty wide, not all the way. You're gonna maybe dig around a little bit in this bag. I get kind of frustrated with that sometimes. I'm on the plane trying to get something out of the bottom of the bag, but then again, you do get more space in two relatively bottomless compartments. You do have the laptop compartment, which is great. It's got a main compartment, a cavernous, maybe two cavernous, like admin pocket up front. Then there's also a little fleece lined admin pouch for your phone or your wallet or your sunglasses, whatever you don't want to like ding up. There's a kind of a flat pocket here. This one's got a soft liner. I think this is probably for sunglasses or a phone or something you don't want to get scratched up. And it's got the little lip to kind of keep rain out of it. It's got its own little tricks too. Again, the sternum strap, the hip strap compatibility, this awesome, actually functional water bottle pouch, unlike the Mystery Ranch. This is kind of neat. This is one of my favorite things. This is a very shallow pocket right here, made specifically for a water bottle. I like to use the Platypus because whenever you're done with it, it folds up nice and neat and you can kind of close it in. And if you fill it up, then you can leave this open if you need the extra space. I'm ashamed to admit that I've actually left a couple of the platypi in the seat back pockets on planes. That's the only bad thing I can say about them, and that's entirely my fault. One issue. The pockets are on the flaps, so that tends to work well with the GR1 because the GR1 is super rigid. It's got a robust zipper, but if you weigh down your flaps too much on the Allhaula, because of how light it is, it makes the flaps want to flip themselves open, and if you don't zip those pockets, then you're going to yard sale your shit all over the place. You can, if you're not paying attention, kind of overweigh this flap where especially like it'll want to unzip or it'll want to kind of flop open if you have too much weight in here. So something to be cognizant of. Form factor wise, it's a little bit more turtley in appearance versus the 26-liter bags that are a little bit slimmer, a little more svelte. But it's still a great looking bag. It's just a little bit more high drag than the 26-liter ones that we looked at. But then again, you get more space, and that's how it's gotta be. Like if you're gonna have more space, it's gonna be a little bit more turtley. Okay, so once you pick the backpack, those are my three favorites. The next question is what actually lives in the bag every time you travel. For me, there are some travel hacks. I got a few things, basically permanent residence in my carry-on. By the way, I'll try to remember to post links to all this stuff in the description if you want to get it. Of course, my favorite flashlight, Surefire stiletto, passport, international driver's license. Now this is clutch, guys. Again, if you like to work or at least keep your phone charged on an airplane, what happens? You go to plug your phone in, plug your charger, hot dog down a hallway, right? That thing just falls out. It doesn't matter how new the plane is, you go to plug your shit in and it falls right out. So your solution, international chargers. Just get one of these, just get one of these. Doesn't even matter if you're going to Europe. If you stick one of these in there, the plugs are longer, they're more robust, it'll stay in a lot better. Also helps if you have a charger, if like it's too wide, like some of like my Mac products, the charger's too wide to go into the recessed outlet in the plane. You use this, you're good. Speaking of chargers, I like the smallest Anker USB-C chargers. They'll almost keep up with a MacBook, like they'll reduce your drain, they'll work while you're flying. They're like the little 30 watt or 45 watt nano style chargers. I'll not only bring a nano, but I'll bring like the smallest one that still has 2 usable USB-C ports. So either you can charge your laptop and your phone, but this is pretty clutch on international flights. Some of the seats on international planes, you are sharing a plug with your seat partner. This has happened to me before. So if you plug in like the dual USB-C, no one's fighting over it. It's like they can charge their phone, you can use your laptop. What if you get on a plane that doesn't have a plug? Or what if you need some battery like on the go, or like, you know, your hotel, you're staying in South Africa and there's rolling brownouts, which has happened to me before, right? You want to charge your iPhone, charge your laptop without having to plug into anything. The Anker Prime series of battery packs, like they've got, especially the one with the built-in wall plug, they've got massive, like 10,000 plus milliamp hours. Is that what it is? Like MAH, milliamp hours? I can get like a full charge, maybe more than a full charge on my MacBook Pro with this thing. And it also acts as like a charging station. So you've got a USB and 2 USB-Cs here. This is critical. This is pretty important. And you're gonna notice I've got a lot of Anker stuff. I have no relationship with Anker whatsoever. So this is a wireless charger, like it'll work with like my iPhone, right? The MagSafe. Get a couple charges out of this thing. You charge it with USB-C. You can charge off USB-C. It doesn't have to be magnetic. You can charge whatever you want with it. And it is so clutch if you're like out of the town, you've been using your phone, using GPS, calling people, looking at Google Maps to find like a good restaurant, whatever, and you're down to 8% at the end of the day and you need to get home. I love these. Got my Orbit gum from Europe that I love. Oh, AirTag. I always throw an AirTag in this backpack. Somebody goes off running with it, hopefully I can track them down. An electronics cube. This is, I think this is from REI. Sorry, 511, if you guys have it, I'm sure you probably have something similar. But I really like this thing, and this is where I keep all my electronics. I don't put my cords, like my dongles, you know, things like that, like in the pouches, in the organizer pockets, in the bag. It's easier to just throw them all in like a brightly loud colored bag. You just grab it, open it up, everything's in there. Get like a high-vis orange or neon green. That's what I use. I keep all the power, all the cable stuff, keep all that in there. USB charging cables, USB-C charging cables, really can't have enough of those. Camera batteries, these are kind of fun. USB regular to USB-C adapters. These have come in clutch, especially European hotel rooms that don't have the USB-C, or for whatever reason, you need to just plug into a USB, a regular ass USB, but you don't want to drag around a cable where you're married to this old technology. So if you just bring one of these little adapters. Bluetooth headphones, these are also Anker. I forget what this is called. It's like the P40i or something. They're not that expensive. I have actually never lost them. And that's funny because, you know, if they were expensive, I would have lost them. Great battery life, they work well. Be careful with Anker though, because some of their cheaper ones are absolute dog shit. A little ditty bag, right? For random shit, I'll put like protein bars, especially if you have a long international flight, you know, got the little mini toothpastes, little nasty toothbrush, sunscreen, pocketable sunscreen, hand sand, that's a big deal. Oral-B, a little bit of dental floss for whenever you get that nasty like chicken stew thing that they give you on the KLM flight to Amsterdam. Get that stuck in your teeth. 2 cameras. I've got my Leica Q3 right here if you guys want to have a look at it. One of my favorite still cameras. Great for shooting at night, great for street. This is my video / still camera. This is my S5 II with a Leica 24-70 lens on it, and I use a Peak Design. Actually, I like this strap, but I've got the one that's a little bit thinner, like the next size down, if you want to say it that way, and I think I like that one better. This one's a little bit more comfortable, but it's a little bulky. Finally, we've got this compartment back here. If you need to hang something, like a water bladder, you can do it. But I can use this for my MacBook, which is what I use to kind of edit videos, work on stuff, and then I can also bring my iPad. So I bring my iPad because this works out well in a pinch. If something happens to this, if I break it, if I lose it, if it gets stolen, I can still answer work emails. I can still edit video on this thing. I don't use this all the time whenever I travel, but it's nice to have, especially if you just want to read a book by the pool or if your main computer goes down in a pinch. Great battery life, great functionality. I always love tossing like a small weather-resistant jacket in the bag, both for the plane or for when the weather flips unexpectedly. The Patagonia Houdini, probably my favorite. It's like the size of a small sandwich because it vanishes kind of like into its own pocket. You toss it in the backpack, you'll totally forget about it because it weighs almost nothing. Just enough to take the edge off when the cabin's super cold and you're trying to sleep. It's got a little hoodie too, or if the wind starts whipping with the rain and the sleet on the cliffs of Moher or something like that. So you can see we put a whole ton of crap in this bag. Like, this is everything that I need for international travel, and I still have plenty of space. Guys, thank you as usual for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know like what your tips are. If you've got one for me, a travel tip, leave it in the comments. I would really appreciate it. Maybe I'll send you a patch or something, but I'm just appreciative you're watching. Thank you guys. Take care.